So here is, what do I call it? Incontinence fits or pelvic floor fits. There are muscles down there that need to be worked out just like this. But we don't see them, but you know about them. You can't laugh, listen to a good joke, or feel comfortable maybe playing a sport because when you gotta go, everybody else has to stop. So these are exercises for the pelvic floor. And yes, I'm using this. Number 1, I have 3 natural childbirths, and that means my pelvic floor has been tested. When I delivered my babies, I delivered them on the side. So the reason is so I could feel my pelvic floor. Don't mind the dog. I now am sitting like this, and I can feel my pelvic floor. And that's how come I delivered my babies on my side, because I can feel my pelvic floor. I don't have my legs just open because I can't feel that stuff down there. I'm just squeezing. And I can feel all the muscles going right up, like a drawbridge. Don't mind the dog, he's helping me with my mosquito bites on my legs. But I think it's a nice effect for the pelvic floor routine that we're doing here. Okay, I'm squeezing, and you want to do both sides because you want to get everything. Okay, there, squeeze. Okay, how long do you squeeze? Till you cannot squeeze anymore. The next trick is releasing. Now obviously we can't see me release, but let me tell you, I'm releasing. The muscles need to contract and then release. Okay, so that's exercise number 1. You do it also on your back. I like to bring my feet really close to my glutes, and I like to squeeze, and then I like to lift up. So I really lift up, and I am really squeezing. Really, really squeezing. Then I release in this position, and I tighten again. And I'm really, really squeezing. Okay, the next one. When you want to do pelvic floor exercises, you can also do them in the chair. So up here, I take my tushy to the edge of the chair. I lean forward and I squeeze. Nobody would know what I'm doing, but if I start to giggle, I'm doing it. I'm squeezing. Then I release, and I tighten again. The release and the tightening have to be like that, like a wet sponge. Wring it, and then you let it go. You wring it, and then you let it go. Now, the other one is standing. When you have to go, we usually have a posture like, oh my God! That's embarrassing. I put the Strollercizer between my thighs and I squeeze. I am squeezing and tightening and squeezing because I've got something to squeeze against it. And I'm squeezing, tightening, and squeezing, and tightening, and squeezing, and tightening. And I'm going to do both sides. And in, and squeeze and tighten. Squeeze and tighten, squeeze and tighten, squeeze and tighten. Releasing. Tighten. So the squeezing and the tightening, the squeezing and tightening have to all be done. It's part of it. Okay. Next one. Back on the knees. Strollercizers between the thighs. Does look a little funny. You're going to bring your tailbone up, and you are going to, now this has to go right down by your knees, right down by the bones of the knees, and you're going to squeeze. You're gonna feel very open and vulnerable, but you gotta be tightening, and you pull up and you squeeze. You release, and then you tighten. It's very low. The Strollercizer is very low. Now, you stick your tushy out and you squeeze. And here is where the work counts because it's harder to feel it this way. You're out and you're squeezing. And then you release, and then you squeeze. Okay, those are the basic exercises, but here's a no-no. You do not practice pelvic floor, squeezing and tightening, when you're going to the bathroom. That's natural, and those muscles are meant to do that. It can cause other little issues. The squeeze and tighten can be done anywhere you want, and of course, if you're driving in the car and you want to work those muscles, it works fabulous in the passenger seat. And that's the pelvic floor fits. Do you want to